Hi, Bill Barber from Poliigon here. In this video we're going to take the wooden floor material that we made in the last video and add in some surface imperfections, namely some smudges and scratches, to give our floor a more realistic lived-in look. Before we get started though, let's take a look at the textures we'll be using. It's going to be this one, Floor Smudges Type A Medium 001 and Gun Scratches 003. Both of which I've already downloaded and have available for use. Yeah, that's it. So let's head over to Cinema4D and get started. Okay, so this is where we left off last time. We have our wooden floor material that's been imported. If you remember, we delete that, don't need it. We set the material up, added in a few extra nodes that we needed to make the most of our material, and yeah, we're going to build on that now. So let me just expand this view a little bit, give us as much room as possible to work on, and then what I'm going to do is move some of these nodes around a bit. I'm going to move the colour and reflection and associated nodes over there, then I'll get the gloss map, the invert that turns it into a roughness map, and then the adjustment there, and then the normal map I'm going to bring down a bit lower and put that about there. Good. So that gives us this space to work in, because it's the gloss map / roughness map that we're going to be adjusting first. So with that done, let's bring in another image texture, and this is going to be our floor smudges. Okay, so let's jump over to the file system and find floor smudges. There we go. Now you'll notice there's two different types in here. We have kind of a white smudges on a black background, and then the invert of that, black on a white background. Now because we're working on a roughness map, we're going to use what's called a screen operator. So we want the white smudges on a black background. So let's bring that in. And what we'll also do is set this to non-color data. The texture itself contains no, it's not going to influence the color of our texture in any way. We want the raw information from it with no gamma corrections applied, which is why we changed this to non-color data. Now, what I will do is quickly bring in a diffuse shader, just so in fact an emission shader will be easier. Just bring in a little emission shader, connect up the smudges, and I'm going to feed that into our output instead of the material that we've currently got going in there, like so. So now when I give it a render, we should see just the smudges basically, and the way that they're distributed. Good. So we need these to be a bit larger. If you look at in fact, we'll go back to history, we should be able to compare them. Look at the size of the floorboards and then the size of these little feet. It's not quite right, is it? So what we'll do to adjust that is jump into the material again and add in a couple more nodes. First of all, we're going to want to add in a texture coordinate node, and that's under input, so texture coordinate like that, and then under vector we want a mapping node. Vector mapping, there it is. Oop. Mapping. Thank you. Good. So now we can feed in the UV coordinates from the texture coordinate node, and then the output of this mapping node into the vector input of our smudges. And now what we can do is adjust these scale sliders here. So we want to go for probably nothing too extreme really. Maybe about 1.5 to 2, I'm guessing. Let's just go for 2 for argument's sake, and hit render again. And now they're probably a bit too big, but it'll do the trick. You get the idea. Now bear in mind this mapping trick will also work on the primary material, in case you wanted to make the floorboards bigger or smaller. So in fact what I will do is copy and paste those nodes and feed those into all of the other textures, all the textures that are to do with the base texture, or the base material I should say. There we go. So now whatever we put in here will be the tiling for the original texture, which for now, just for demonstration's sake, I'll set to 1.5 now, so we can see what's going on. Or we could if I if I had the material fed back as it was before. There we go. So with this you should see the floorboards are a little bigger than they were, yeah? Good. Let's compare it with that one. So we've slightly enlarged the size of the floorboards using that mapping node, and then because it's connected to all the textures, it's adjusting them all at once. Good. Okay. So we've got our smudges. We like the way they're laid out. We don't need that emission shader, but what we need to do is introduce them into our material. And the way we're going to do that is via the gloss map. So what I'll do is get a RGB mix, which should be hiding in color. There we go, mix RGB, sorry. And then we'll feed the output of our sort of roughness adjustments into the first color input, and then the smudges into the bottom. And then feed the output of that instead into roughness. Now we've got a bunch of different operator types that you can mix by, and we're going to use screen. What screen will do is take the bright areas of a texture and overlay it on top of the original texture. So in this case we'll be taking the white areas of this and overlaying it onto this, which is exactly what we want for the sort of effect that we're looking for. I'll leave the mix type on 0.5 for now. That should be relatively good, I think. And let's just hit render again and have a look at the difference. And there we go, we're seeing those footprints now on the floor. In fact, the effect is definitely too strong, so we'll turn that down a little bit, maybe 0.3, and we can call that done. Okay, so the next step is to introduce the scratches. Now the way we're going to do that is, of course, start off with a texture. So let's bring in our image texture node again, and from here we'll browse over to Gun Scratches 03. There we go. Now this again has a whole bunch of different textures, and the one we're going to use in this instance is the black scratches on a white background. So let's bring that in. This too is going to want to have its own texture coordinate and mapping node. So I'm going to Control C and Control V, duplicate that over, and there we go. So that's got its own layout as well. Though for this one, I already know that the scratches are going to have to be quite a bit smaller than they already are. So instead of increasing this value, we're going to decrease it to something like 0.7. And that should work quite nicely. So we need to take this information. We need to then tell the rendering engine that it has something to do with vector data rather than color data, i.e. the purple outputs, and we have to combine it to our normal map. So the way to do that is to add in a bump node, which should be in vector as well. Yes, bump node. So we'll place that there. We then can feed the normals that we've already got, the one that came with the material, into the normal input of the bump node. But we can then use this color output as a strength input to the bump node, and that will add in that information into the vector, or the normals. And with that in place, it's just a matter of, in fact, that should be in the height value, sorry, not the strength. Then it's just a matter of adjusting the strength value. Now one will be ridiculously too high, but let's actually take a look and confirm that first. Yeah, so the tiling's still a little bit off. Actually, I'm going to shrink the scratches down a little further, and we need to drastically reduce the strength. So let's jump over to here, set the strength down to something like 0.03. Really, we want a subtle effect here, and we'll change the tiling to maybe 0.4, like so. There we go. You can just about see the scratches in the lighting. I think once we rendered in higher samples, that would show up a little bit more. I will slightly increase that. Let's say 0.07. And yeah, I think we're in a situation to give this a final render. Okay, so I rendered out a higher resolution version, and we can see, yeah, both effects are kind of a bit too high. I would change quite quite a few things for the final here. I'd lower the strength probably back to 0.02 for the scratches, maybe slightly adjust the scaling of both the smudges and the scratches as well, or maybe just bring the floor tiling back down, depending on the situation, of course. But for the purposes of a tutorial, I think that works just fine. So in summary, we've taken the material from the previous video and we've added in some surface imperfections to the gloss map and the normal map, giving our finished material a more realistic lived-in look.